Last night, hip-hop witnessed something we've never seen before, a four-generation roast delivered in under 4 minutes. Today, we got one of the most addicting, most savage, and most did he really just say that breakdowns in hip-hop history. We're diving into Kendrick Lamar's Meet the Grahams, the section that doesn't just roast Drake, but exposes his entire relationship with money, his father, and the generational curse that's been running through the Graham family like a bad credit score. This is the kind of content that had even Kendrick fans clutching their pearls, like, bro, this is therapy, not a diss track. If you're ready for one of the most high-energy, evidence-packed, and straight-up hilarious deep dives you've ever heard, smash that like, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. Let's start with the bar that set the whole internet on fire. Money's always been illusion, but that's the life he's used to.
Lives inside confusion. Money's always been illusion, but that's the life he's used to.
Kendrick isn't just talking about cash. He's talking about Drake's entire reality being fake. Let that sink in. Drake has been around money since he was a kid on Degrassi. And Kendrick is saying that early access to wealth created a distorted reality. Drake's out here thinking money solves everything. But Kendrick is basically like, nah, money's a mirage, my guy. You can't buy your way out of generational trauma. The roast is real. Kendrick is saying Drake prioritizes material wealth and luxury over family responsibilities. He's blinded by the bag and can't see what truly matters. That's why he's flexing jets and chains while his family structure is falling apart. If you've ever seen somebody with all the money in the world but still empty inside, you know exactly what Kendrick's talking about. The money mirage. Let's break it down. Drake's whole career is built on the illusion of wealth. He's at the OVO jet, the mansions, the Turks and Caicos getaways, the $500,000 chains. But what's it all for? Kendrick is saying, you're so used to money, you forgot what's real in the receipts. Drake's IG is a highlight reel of flexes. But where's the family? Where's the real connection? Kendrick is calling out the emptiness behind the luxury. And the wildest part? Money is supposed to be a tool, not a mask. But for Drake, it's become a full-on disguise. He's hiding behind the bag, thinking it'll protect him from pain. But Kendrick sees straight through it. If you're feeling this, smash that like and let's keep it moving. The father wound. Next bar. His father probably didn't claim him neither.
History repeats itself. Sometimes it don't need a reason. Fuck.
His father probably didn't claim him neither. History repeats itself. Sometimes it don't need a reason.
Now history repeats itself. Sometimes it doesn't need a reason. That's a direct shot at Drake's well-documented, complicated relationship with his father, Dennis Graham. Drake has been rapping for years about growing up without consistent paternal support. Look what you've done from Time, and so many tracks from the Six all center on that absent father pain. But here's where it gets spicy. Dennis Graham has publicly disputed Drake's portrayal, claiming Drake exaggerated for sympathy and record sales. Drake clapped back, insisting, everything I said is true. So now you've got father and son essentially beefing over who was more absent. That's a whole new level of dysfunction. Kendrick isn't just roasting Drake. He's revealing the cracks in the foundation. And the comedy? Kendrick is basically saying, bro, your pops didn't claim you, and now you're out here not claiming your own. That's generational roast. Fam. That's the kind of bar that makes you call your dad just to check in. History repeats. The curse continues. Next bar. History. It repeats itself. Sometimes it don't need a reason. This is where Kendrick gets philosophical. He's saying, look, you got all this money, all this fame, but you're still repeating the same mistakes your father made. Let's connect the dots. Pusha T exposed Drake's son Adonis in 2018. Drake hid him for years. Now Kendrick is saying, you're out here doing the same thing your pops did to you. And the wildest part? Drake has firsthand knowledge of how that pain feels, but he's still passing it down. That's the generational curse. That's the cycle. Kendrick has used the theme history repeats in his own work, talking about cycles of violence, conflict, and trauma. He's telling Drake, you had the chance to break the cycle, but you chose to keep it going. If you've ever seen somebody become the very thing they hated, you know this bar hits hard. The tier system, roasting with structure. Let's break down why Kendrick's approach is so genius. He's not just throwing random shots. He's building a tier system of roasts. Tier 1, the money illusion. Drake's reality is fake. Tier 2, the father wound. Drake's father didn't claim him, and now he isn't claiming his own. Tier 3. History repeats. The generational curse. Each bar builds on the last, escalating the stakes and making the roast deeper and more personal. And the payoff? By the time Kendrick gets to the end, you feel the full weight of the allegations. This isn't just a diss. It's a psychological profile.
Y'all all told me Kendrick was down for it. He would even let me win. This nigga killing me. Got all my fans out here calling me a pedophile. No more pizza parties at my house. I got them all out of here. Got the last one getting out right now.
And the payoff? By the time Kendrick reaches the end, you feel the full weight of the allegations. This isn't just a diss. It's an intervention, a therapy session, and a public execution wrapped in one bow. This is what happens when a lyrical genius decides you need to be studied for science. Let's put this in context. Most diss tracks go after skills, street cred, image. They aim for the head. But Kendrick? He goes for the soul, the childhood, the credit score, and the family reunion group chat. He's targeting what actually hurts. Let's compare. Nas versus Jay-Z. Ether was about credibility, manhood, authenticity. It was a demolition derby where the weapons were bars. Pac versus Biggie. Hit 'em Up was about betrayal, street code, personal beef, aggression in its most raw, unfiltered form. Pusha T versus Drake. The story of Adidon was about secrets, fatherhood, and image. Pusha said, "You've got a kid. Now the world's about to know." And Drake had to change his whole album rollout. But Kendrick? He's combining all of that. He looked at diss tracks across history, studied them like a PhD candidate, and said, "Watch me do all of this at once." And Drake is out here looking like a case study. Kendrick is roasting Drake's money, his family, his legacy, his soul. This is a Hall of Fame of roasts, fam. And the best part, Kendrick does it with surgical precision. No wasted words, no filler bars, just pure, concentrated roast energy, like he distilled it in a lab. Every line is a scalpel. Let's talk about the psychological warfare. Kendrick isn't just clowning. He's diagnosing. He turns into a therapist who bills by the bar, and Drake's getting charged for childhood trauma, daddy issues, and generational curses. That's an expensive session. He's saying, Drake, you're not just a bad rapper. You're a product of a broken system. He's exposing the trauma, the cycles, the pain. He's pulling back the curtain on the great and powerful Drake, and behind it is just Aubrey from Degrassi with commitment issues and a shopping addiction. It makes the audience uncomfortable, but that's the point. Discomfort means it's working. And the curiosity, every section promises deeper, darker content. You can't stop listening. It's like a true crime documentary, except Drake is the unsolved case and Kendrick is a detective with all the receipts. You have to know what's coming next. And the validation, Kendrick is saying what a lot of people have been thinking, but we're too scared to voice. He's the friend who finally says what everyone's whispering at the dinner table, except the dinner table is the entire internet, and Drake's reputation is the main course. Kendrick gives voice to the discomfort, the questions, the doubts, and then the resolution. By the end, you have a framework to understand the whole experience. You see the blueprint, the pattern, the generational flowchart of dysfunction. Drake's family tree looks like a diagram of what not to do in therapy. Let's talk about the community. Kendrick isn't roasting for entertainment alone. He's holding up a mirror to the culture. He's saying, yo, really let this man fake deep his way through fatherhood while streaming his music? We have to set higher standards. He's pushing the message. We need to do better, break the cycle, stop letting money and fame distract from what actually matters. He addresses the audience directly. What I'm about to show you is bigger than rap. This isn't just entertainment. It's a TED Talk disguised as a diss track, and Drake is the example of everything we're trying to avoid. It's about family legacy and ending generational curses. Drop a comment if you've ever seen this pattern in your own life. Let me know if you know someone with a private jet who can't fly out to see their own kid. The math is not mathing. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns that go deeper than the surface. Kendrick is building a community of people who want hip-hop to grow, not just entertain. He's creating a movement, while Drake is over there trying to figure out how to respond without proving Kendrick right. So let's bring it home. Kendrick's Meet the Grahams bars about money, fatherhood, and generational trauma are some of the most layered, most savage, and most uncomfortable roasts in hip-hop history. This is a type of roast that gets framed, studied in college courses, and referenced every time someone tries to claim Drake won any battle. He exposes Drake's money illusion, his father wound, and the generational curse that keeps repeating. He doesn't just diss Drake, he dissects him. Man performs a full autopsy, identifies the cause of death, emotional unavailability, and writes the death certificate in real time. He doesn't just roast a man, he exposes the system that made him. And the wildest part? Drake can't respond.
Damn, I had to hit her ass too. Then this nigga showed the fucking Maybach glove, man. Wait, what the glove mean? You don't know what a glove mean, man? Tom Hanks. Man, stop asking me questions, nigga, because I know it's you. One of y'all two niggas is snitching. I can't. Oh, I'm going to find out, nigga. I'm going to find out.
Daddy, can I come out now?
Go get your ass back up in that closet before you try to ruin my damn career. Your damn kids coming out of the woodwork.
Now let's talk about the Twitter explosions, the Instagram chaos, TikTok going nuclear, and barbershops across America almost starting wars over this beef. Your grandma was asking questions, your pastor was taking notes, and Drake was somewhere Googling how to delete the internet. You know Drake was in his mansion watching his phone blow up, switching between 17 burner accounts like, this is taken out of context. Bro, what context makes it better? You got cooked like a Thanksgiving turkey. If you're ready for the most hilarious, most unhinged, most I cannot believe we witnessed this breakdown of internet history, smash that like, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. All right. So Kendrick drops the track late at night, and the internet immediately catches fire. Every platform combusted at the same time, like someone tossed a match into a fireworks factory. Twitter went ballistic. Black Twitter specifically lost its collective mind. Trending topics everywhere. Drake's name flying across timelines. And the roast fest started instantly. Drake's name was trending with skull emojis, crying emojis, and people typing RIP like they were at a funeral. The internet wrote his obituary in real time. People were tweeting wild things like, this isn't even beef anymore. This is a family counseling session with a beat. Engagement was insane. People were getting hundreds of thousands of likes just for creative Drake slander. The internet turned into a roast competition. Another tweet-level energy. Drake somewhere eating ice cream straight from the tub at 4 a.m. watching YouTube tutorials on how to recover from public humiliation. Man probably had Wikipedia pages open, therapy apps downloading, and a vision board that just said, why me? In glitter. Then the memes flooded in. Oh, the memes. People were creating content faster than Drake could say. But wait, memes of Drake crying, Drake in therapy, Drake's Google search history. One whole series was just Drake's daily coping mechanisms, and it had like 80 parts. The internet had zero mercy. OVO fans tried to defend him. Keyword, tried. They were in the trenches fighting a losing battle. One stan posted, y'all forgetting Drake is the most streamed artist. The replies came like an avalanche. Yeah, he streams good, but apparently doesn't stream his son's school plays. What's your point? That defender got demolished so thoroughly, they probably changed their username. Another tried. Kendrick's just jealous of Drake's lifestyle. Quote, tweets were ruthless. Jealous of what? The hidden kids? The daddy issues? The generational trauma on display? Nah, we're good over here. That person deleted their entire account. Instagram went nuclear. Major pages were posting nonstop and pulling millions of interactions in hours. Comment sections looked like crime scenes. Drake's reputation was outlined in chalk, and everyone was taking selfies with it. Comments like, Drake thought his money made him untouchable. Kendrick said, hold my Pulitzer and watch this. Thousands of likes. Another. Kendrick turned beef into a therapy session. Drake needs Dr. Phil, not a producer. More thousands of likes. Then the Instagram psychologists showed up, the ones with no degree but endless opinions, writing full essays about Drake's attachment style, money as a coping mechanism, fear of intimacy. Someone made a 10-slide carousel diagnosing Drake's emotional unavailability and it pulled hundreds of thousands of likes. The man became a textbook example. Commentary pages were feasting. Someone wrote, "This man's entire existence got fact-checked in 3 minutes." It got pinned. Drake became a falsehood that needed correcting. TikTok was on another level. Gen Z went feral. There were explainer videos breaking down every bar, red string conspiracy boards connecting everything. POV videos titled, "You're Drake and Just Listen," where creators sat in silence, looking increasingly traumatized before throwing their phones across the room. Makeup tutorials titled, "Get Ready While I Explain Drake's Downfall." People making pasta while roasting Drake's life choices. One TikTok exploded with millions of views. Kendrick really told Drake, "Your daddy didn't want you and now you don't want a kid." And Drake thought he could respond with, "What, sir? Actually, I claim him on weekends." Bro, the damage is permanent. Drake definitely watched that one on a burner about 300 times, typed 17 different responses in his notes app, deleted all of them, then posted a picture of his car hoping the internet would forget. Man was in crisis mode with no exit strategy. Reddit had mega threads with thousands of comments, people writing dissertations. Someone probably typed up 5,000 words on psychological warfare tactics. It was longer than most master's theses, and had better research than Drake's entire defense team.
Daddy, is it true? Are you a bad man? Nigga, get your ass out of here. Come on, I'm a bad man. If it wasn't for Pusha T, boy, get your ass out of here.
The nigga that got bodied by Pusha T? The nigga that hiding his kid from the world, but his world wanna hide from the kid? Aubrey Graham and the rich Drake?
Yes!
It was longer than most master's theses, and had stronger research than Drake's entire defense team. Someone didn't just make a breakdown. They built an entire digital archive. We're talking timelines, cross-references, side notes, annotations, screenshots, interviews, and historical documents you didn't even know existed. It felt like they had a whole dissertation committee reviewing every bar. Reddit detectives were operating like a special task force. Sources, citations, timestamps, everything triple-checked. The whole project was more thorough than a criminal trial, and low-key more organized than Drake's last album rollout. Another Redditor spent days digging into bars and kept uncovering new layers. And honestly, that felt poetic, because Drake has been hiding layers his whole life, especially the one called his child. And Reddit? They upvoted that analysis straight into orbit. The platform didn't just join the roast. They hosted a community bonfire. Barbershops across the country went absolutely wild. Men in barber chairs were having heated debates like it was election season. One barber even stopped mid-cut, clippers still buzzing in the air, just to explain how Kendrick managed to roast 3 entire generations with surgical precision. He laid it out like a family chart. Kendrick didn't just roast Drake. He roasted Drake's father, Drake's son, and Drake's unborn grandchildren. That's not disrespect. That's a generational heat wave. The guy in the chair tried to defend him by saying, "But Drake got hits though," and the entire shop went quiet like someone cut the power. Then, from the back, someone allegedly said, "Get out." And that man had to finish his haircut in a fog of shame. Meanwhile, another shop put up a joke sign. "Bad takes about the beef cost double." That's business genius. That's vertical integration. That's monetized Drake slander. Entrepreneurship at its purest form. Then the cultural voices, the people who actually shape public opinion, jumped in. Podcasters dedicated entire episodes, sometimes full multi-hour marathons, to breaking down just a handful of bars. Some spent 90 minutes dissecting a single verse. They had more energy than Drake's ghostwriters during album season. Hip-hop legends who usually stay silent were commenting on the brutality with genuine concern. The general sentiment was clear. This is different. This is strategic. This is surgical. This is not normal beef energy. Even the OGs were rattled. Veteran artists started saying this moment represented a shift in rap beef. One where the battle wasn't about who had the hardest bars, but who could psychologically dismantle their opponent with the most precision. Kendrick changed the rules, and Drake became the case study in what happens when you lose under those rules. Then the music publications showed up with full academic-level analysis. We're talking think pieces with headlines like "Weaponizing Family Trauma in Modern Rap." These weren't reviews. They were cultural examinations. Drake essentially became a required reading assignment. Outlets began bringing in actual experts, psychologists, sociologists, researchers, to analyze Kendrick's diss like it was a peer-reviewed study. Drake got academically evaluated by people with letters after their names. Long-form podcasts went hours deep into every angle. Some episodes were longer than full-length movies, all breaking down the ways Drake got cooked. They spent more time analyzing the diss than Drake spent being emotionally present that entire year. Journalists began writing about how this moment forces us to reconsider celebrity accountability, generational patterns, and how personal narratives get used in public conflicts. The roast didn't just go viral. It became a cultural curriculum. Drake's pain transformed into a dissertation topic. Even people outside of hip-hop started reacting. Athletes posted cryptic emojis, just a fire emoji here, a coffin emoji there, and everybody understood the message. Yeah, Drake lost. Some athletes even said it outright, without saying it directly. The cosigns were universal. Entertainers from other industries chimed in with things like, "I don't even follow rap beef, but that looked painful." Even people who don't listen to hip-hop acknowledge the destruction. The roast crossed genres. Pop singers, R&B artists, rock musicians. Everybody had an opinion. Some admired the artistry. Some felt uncomfortable with the rawness. But everyone was talking. Drake became a cross-cultural phenomenon for losing. Meanwhile, Drake's famous friends? Silence. Complete, total, echoing silence. Frequent collaborators said nothing. Label mates said nothing. Toronto said nothing. The entire OVO operation entered witness protection mode. They disappeared faster than Drake when it's time for parent-teacher conferences. Even the day one homies hit him with a classic. "You're on your own with this one, big bro." Then women started chiming in, and the conversation got even spicier. Female artists started subtweeting and liking posts about men who think money can replace emotional presence. Those cosigns didn't need names. Everyone knew exactly who they were referencing. Women in media began pointing out patterns among wealthy men. Patterns of avoidance, lack of emotional responsibility, and using material success as a shield. The discussion quickly expanded beyond Drake into a broader cultural conversation about male behavior, and Drake became Exhibit A, the primary example, the poster child. Female creators started making entire series about emotionally unavailable men. One creator even did a full attachment-style breakdown, using Drake as the case study, turning his entire public persona into a teaching tool for red flags in dating. Relationship podcasters had a field day. For weeks, Drake was a go-to example of what not to do. Culture spoke with one unified voice. The lesson was clear. Kendrick's artistry prevailed, and Drake unintentionally taught everyone what happens when you don't handle your personal and generational issues. But beyond that, the entire moment sparked conversations, raised awareness, and delivered legendary memes that will live forever. So Drake, wherever you are, whatever burner account you're using right now, just know this. Your moment of getting cooked turned into a moment of collective growth. Thank you for your sacrifice. Your pain created purpose. That's got to count for something, right? If you made it this far, you're a real one. Drop your favorite meme, your biggest takeaway, or one more roast to the culture. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. And remember, break generational curses, prioritize what matters, and whatever you do, don't give Kendrick a reason to study your family tree. Keep it 100, stay true, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.